I'm Jen.
And I'm Joe.
And we're Jen and Joe
on the go. So, Jen, how are you today?
Well, we have a lot to talk about. Joe and I both got sick while in Disney World on our vacation.
It was actually the last day. We both woke up that morning feeling a little in the throat. But yeah, the good thing with it is that it is not COVID.
It is not. We both have tested. We do not have COVID, but I was actually sick going into this vacation, but that's going to be a separate video that I'll talk more about at a later time.
Whole nother issue.
Whole nother issue.
This is just a little cold, which, all right. Anytime anyone gets sick nowadays, the first thought that's going to go through your head, I would think, would be, oh my God, I have the vid. I have the big C. I'm done for. So, you know, we woke up a slight little whatever in our throats Tuesday morning. We flew home Tuesday night.
I actually had that Sunday and Monday, though.
Yeah, but it wasn't...
The tickle in my throat.
Yeah, but it wasn't anything crazy weird or bad.
No.
So we got home Tuesday night, and Wednesday was when things really started getting worse for both of us. And we both tested, and we were both negative. And
I've tested multiple times because it's now been 7 to 8 days for me, and I'm still congested, still coughing.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Yeah.
It's what happens when you travel.
So now the other thought with that is that, you know, for 2 years, and for me working in a hospital, right? Caution, caution, caution. Masks, gloves,
washing
sanitize hands, and social distancing. And the gloves, whatever, right? In healthcare you wear gloves. But the other three, mask, sanitize hands, and social distancing. Those three things will help to reduce the likelihood of getting sick.
Yeah.
Whatever the illness might be, whether it's a flu or a cold or COVID, it doesn't matter. Those are steps that you can take to actually protect yourself a little bit, right? Not 100%. We all understand it's not 100%. But to do everything that I've done over the last 2+ years and not be sick at all, period, nothing.
I know, I haven't been sick at all either. This is the first time.
And now we go, and this is really the number of people who were there, and no one was masking, no one was social distancing, no one was doing anything, and here we are. So.
And now we're sick.
Yeah, so. Anyway.
But anyway, that's not what this video is about.
Right.
We're going to talk about the pits and the peaks of our most recent Walt Disney World trip.
And with that said, one of the big pits has to be that we got sick, right? I mean, we go and we try to have fun and try to enjoy, you know, all things Disney, despite whatever else they got going on right now. We still try to enjoy what we do enjoy. And there were moments where, it was good, but coming home sick is never a good thing.
No, it's not, especially when you have a lot to do when you get home because you've been gone so long. So we were gone for 2 weeks because we spent 5 nights in St. Pete before we went to Disney.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were gone for an extended period, about 2 weeks. So to come home to be sick and have to go back to work and have to clean the house and do laundry and
the work thing for me
catch
was
up on
brutal.
just everyday life has been hard.
Yeah, it's been very hard. But okay, so let's go to something more positive.
Let's start with some of the peaks of the trip.
Yeah.
Which will combine some of the pits because it's just how it's going to fall. But one of the peaks for me was staying at the Grand Floridian and having turned down service and having your room cleaned every day.
Yeah.
So when you stay at the Grand Floridian, I can't speak for any other hotel right now, they clean your room every morning, they make your bed, they empty your trash, they refresh your towels and toiletries. And then at night, they fluff your pillows and they leave you chocolates on your bed and they refresh your towels and they refresh your toiletries. And you have a hamper for your dirty towels, which is another peak. I think all resorts should have them. It's just such a nice feature.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a peak of staying at the Grand Floridian.
Yeah,
those rooms are still beautiful even without the refurbishment.
Right, and so when they actually do get refurbed,
wow,
imagine that.
I can't imagine what that price tag is going to go up to too. That will be a pit.
If there's any consistency to what Disney's been doing, there will be that. So with that, staying at the Grand Floridian, the pit was the construction noise. There was a lot of construction going on in the one building that they're converting to DVC. It's right next to the pool. So even though we were only there for a couple of days, I spent time at the pool, and the thought was anyway, it would be nice to just sit in the chair, relax, take a little nap. which I did both days, but both days I was woken up by the construction noise.
So if you are staying there, be prepared. It is loud. It is very loud at times.
Yeah. So
during like from 9 to 5.
But you know, I don't think it's going to be going on for too much longer. Here we are at the end of May. So do you know?
I thought it was supposed to finish at the end of August.
Okay, so a couple more months, but just throughout the summer.
But you would think too, like with summer being Disney's busy season, one of their busy seasons, they would have maybe held off this project and did it like end of August through maybe.
Well, during the colder
November.
months when there are fewer people at the pool, so you wouldn't be disrupted by the pool.
That's true too.
Anyway, well.
Anyway, another peak was staying at Port Orleans French Quarter. It's our favorite resort is my favorite resort is Wilderness Lodge. Well, my second favorite is Port Orleans French Quarter. So anytime I can stay there, it's a plus for me. But a pit to that was housekeeping. Housekeeping was a mess.
Awful.
So.
Sorry.
Yeah, and I hate to say that. I really hate to criticize, but
we were coming from the Grand Floridian.
That's
so when
true.
you are totally taken care of
and
there,
pampered,
and then you go to a moderate resort, that's moderate, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It was more than just not having the cleaning every day. It was calling housekeeping, and they were rude on the phone.
They were.
Calling housekeeping and saying, hey, we need this, and we don't get it. Calling housekeeping and say, well, you know, and just totally blow up.
So one instance that we had, and I know that Disney is doing room security checks, but a gentleman knocked on our door, but to be fair, it was also our day to have our trash emptied and our towels restocked. So we told him, listen, give us 5 minutes, we're on our way out. He didn't identify who he was or what he was doing. We just assumed that he was there to tidy up the little bit of cleaning that they do. So we left the room, came back a couple hours later. I'm like, Joe, why was that guy there? He didn't empty the trash. He didn't give us fresh towels. What the heck? So we called the housekeeping, and it turns out he was just there for a room check, but it would have been nice had he identified himself and said, hey, not a problem, I'm just here to make sure that you're keeping the room okay.
Yeah, that we're not destroying anything. It's like, yeah. And I know why they have to do it. You know, we've heard firsthand stories as to why they have to do security checks, room checks.
Since they're not cleaning your room every day, they make sure you're not destroying your room.
Right, exactly. So. And
having a son who's in housekeeping, I can't tell you the number of people who are still just leaving the rooms a complete sty.
So, to me, for me to get on the soapbox for just a moment, if you guys are going to Disney, if you're staying at one of the hotels, if you're going anywhere, staying at any hotel, any resort, anywhere on this planet, be respectful. Be respectful because you're a guest in someone else's home.
Yeah.
And take care of what you're doing because other people have to clean up after you when you leave.
Yeah, and tip your housekeepers.
Yeah, definitely. I actually kind of, and if there is a way for you to find out who is actually cleaning your room and tip them personally, I don't know. I wanted to do that, but I wasn't really. So I just,
It's too inconsistent.
Yeah, right. You just don't know. So unfortunately, the person who might clean your room on your last day, when you arrive or on your last day, might not be the one who cleans it throughout your stay. Yeah. So it just really depends. But anyway, so.
Another peak was, this was more of a peak for Joe, not for me. But we got to do the AP preview for Guardians of the Galaxy.
That was probably my biggest peak of the trip. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to relax as much as I really wanted to, but I did a bit. I was able to decompress a little bit. But that was really by far the biggest smile on my face for the whole 2 weeks. That ride, whatever you need to do to get on that ride. If you want to do Genie Plus or however they're going to do it, fine. I don't agree with Genie Plus.
It's either virtual queue or you pay Lightning Lane.
Right, okay. So if you're going to pay for it, whatever. I don't care. I'm not judging. What I'm saying is that if you can do it, because I loved it.
So would you pay Lightning Lane to do it?
Based upon my principles, no. Would I wait in line for it? Yes.
You can't wait in line for it.
Well, then you do the virtual queue, whatever.
Right.
Eventually, you'll probably be able to wait in line for it, whatever. But I'm not too big on waiting in lines for Disney rides anymore anyway. That's another pit that we can talk about later, coming up. But when it comes to that ride, because it is so new, I would definitely either do virtual queue or wait in line for it again. I wouldn't pay for it. I don't want to pay for anything at Disney that I don't have to.
I did not like the ride itself just because it did make me a bit disoriented, but not knowing anything about Guardians because I do not follow any of that universe, the ride queue is done extremely well.
Yes.
If you're going to chicken out of the ride, at least walk through the queue.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the queue is done very, very well. And the ride itself, my only complaint about the ride is I just wish the cars didn't turn. But that being said, they have to for the storyline. But I think had it just been a roller coaster without the cars turning, and they don't like spin.
No.
They just turn so you can see what's going on around you. I think I would have been okay with the ride itself. But it's very well done. I just personally didn't like it. But I think everybody needs to do it once.
So I think with the way the building is and the constraints of putting this ride in the building that used to be Universe of Energy, the Ellen DeGeneres thing, which we really love that.
We did.
Stupid Judy.
Stupid Judy.
But, you know, as you're in it and you get into it, the track itself, there's not enough room to do all over the place. It's got to go around. And so as it's going around, the outer perimeter walls are video screens.
They're telling the story.
They're telling the story. So every time the car moves, or rather the entire train, the cars move on the track, your individual car will have to turn so you could actually see the screen in front of you as it tells the story. Now the story itself is hard to follow because the ride is fast and you have the different music playing. So with all of that, it's hard to hear what the characters are saying. They're fighting the Celestial and they're trying to save Earth from being destroyed, whatever. I get it. And you know the Guardians are going to win at the end, whatever.
Yeah.
It's the fun, it's the journey. And as the cars are going, your individual car will turn so that you can see what's happening on the screen. There's no big climb and then a drop.
No.
There's no cars spinning and turning fast, nothing like the teacups. It's just the track is going and you're going fast. You're going fast. Oh, yeah.
You're going fast.
But
it's very smooth.
It's very, very smooth, and gosh, it was so cool.
And when you go in the queue, you're actually going up.
Yeah.
So you start at the top and you're winding your way down.
On the ride itself, right?
Yes.
And then the other thing with the ride is that, different from Space Mountain, even though you're in the dark, you have all this stuff going on around you, so there is light in there because of what's displayed on the screen.
Yeah, it's not nearly as dark as
And at a couple points, you're going around the planet Earth, going around the moon, so you actually see, a huge model of the Earth and a huge model of the moon. It's real structure versus just on the screen. And the other thing too is that the tracks have different points where, like, reflectors.
Yeah.
So they're lit up, so you could actually see. If you look down, you could see where the track is, and you could see where the cars might be going next.
At certain points.
Right. So overall, I walked off that ride. I had a big smile on my face. I enjoyed it that much. We ended up getting for the song was "Everybody Wants to Rule the World" from Tears for Fears.
I wanted September, but that's okay.
Well, you have to ride it again to try to get September.
So anyway, going back to kind of rides, another pit for me, and I never thought I would say this because I'm not a fan of waking up early on vacation, but Timmy wanted us to do extra magic hours at Animal Kingdom, so we got up at 5:30 in the morning so we could be at Animal Kingdom before they opened at 7 a.m., right?
Well, early entry was 7.
Yes, because we were staying at a Disney resort. Every Disney resort gets extra morning hours, so I will say that definitely paid off. Would I do it every day? Absolutely not.
You said this was a pit. This is more.
No, I'm sorry. This was a peak.
Okay.
This is totally a peak. I'm not a fan of getting up early, but extra magic hours in the morning do pay off because you can at least, and that's all you're going to get done is one ride.
Mm-hmm.
But at least you can knock off that one ride that's most important to you. So for Animal Kingdom, it was definitely Flight of Passage for us. And even then, getting there early for extra magic hours, we still waited about 20 to 30 minutes in line.
20 minutes, I think 20 to 25
and then we were able to walk right over to Navi River and basically walk on that.
It was like 5 minutes, 7 minutes, yeah. So we had a video on that too, where we specifically said, look, if you're going to do it, go in, you can get Flight of Passage done. By the time we got off the ride, park opening was at 7:30, so the park was open. We walked past, and the queue is now 105-minute wait. 105 minutes. So to get in
Crazy.
early, right? So that was definitely beneficial. And then we walked to Navi and pretty much all, for the most part, walked onto that.
Yeah.
And then later on, Timmy and I did Everest, and we, I don't know, like 10 minutes, not even for that. And we ended up, we were lucky enough to get front row for that. So that was cool. So it was just the timing of it all. And I think that we also went to Dinosaur, and we would have been able to get on that as well, but that was down when we went.
Right.
So that was, and then we went to breakfast. So we could have done 4 rides within the first 2 hours of being in Animal Kingdom if we would have included Dinosaur. Yeah. And if it was up, we would have been able to walk onto that pretty much 5-minute wait.
But then
that's definitely a peak. So if you are able to, if you want to get up early, that was the only day we did get up early.
Yeah.
It was good that we did that.
Yes. A pit, however, was extra magic hours in the evening for deluxe resort guests. So we got to attend them for our Epcot night, and
because we're at the Grand Floridian.
I think it's just because that park is so spread out. Maybe had it been Magic Kingdom, which we should have gone to those extra hours too, but we didn't.
It was
we were
raining
so
that night,
exhausted.
and we didn't feel well that night.
We literally got to Epcot that day for a 6 o'clock dinner. We had dinner, and then we were able to knock off with no wait Nemo, Figment, Living with the Land.
The little ones.
The little ones.
Yeah.
So by the time Extra Magic Hour started, Harmonious was playing, and we were able to literally walk onto Remy.
No joke. So when we got done with dinner, we're walking around doing these other rides. You had said, let's go to Remy. I looked at the app, the MDE app, and the wait time for Remy said 60 minutes, 60. And I said, geez, with Extra Magic Hours, it's going to be less than that, you'd think, right? So let's maybe do something else. And you insisted, no, let's walk over anyway. Thank God I listened to you. Because we went over to Remy, and it was, we got in, and we kept walking through the queue,
Like, where are all the people?
Yeah, they were all watching Harmonious. So we walked right onto Remy, got done with the ride, and said,
let's do it again.
Yeah, well, we got off the ride, went
Harmonious
out,
ended.
and that was it. And then you're done. And it was a 75-minute wait.
So for Extra Magic Hours, they are now only available to deluxe guests staying at a Disney hotel. So we were able... I don't even really count Remy because technically we walked on it before Extra Magic Hours began.
No. It was...
Was it after...
No, it was after 9 o'clock.
Before 9.
No. It was after 9 o'clock because Harmonious started at 9. So we got on it like around 9:10-ish, 9:15.
Then for the 2 hours that were allotted to us for Extra Magic Hours, we were only able to get on Frozen and Test Track.
Right. So we did 3 attractions in the 2 hours. And Remy, if we wouldn't have gotten to it when we did, we would have only been able to do 2 attractions.
Yeah.
So my recommendation is, and I said this in the other video.
Skip Harmonious. It's a crappy show in our opinion. Go ride Remy.
Right. So if you're able to do Extra Magic Hours, go and do the rides because of the long walk between the attractions. That eats into your time. And you're only going to be able to get 3 if you're lucky.
That being said, would I stay at a deluxe resort just to get Extra Magic Hours? No, not worth it. Not worth that price tag.
Nope.
No.
I mean, if they would have offered 3 hours like they used to,
that would have been totally appropriate.
But I think part of the problem is that they offer Extra Magic Hours only for deluxe guests. So you'd think, okay, it's not everybody. You're only certain hotels, so you'd have fewer people. You'd think. But they're only offering them on certain nights. It's not every night.
And the problem is that Ariane, our TA, pointed out, and she's absolutely 100% correct, is Disney will let you line up for a ride a minute before park closing. So all those people that
were
able to line up at 8:59 made the ride attraction lines longer for those people staying at deluxe resorts.
They didn't do it for Remy though, because we walked onto Remy, so there was no one in line for Remy.
Right. So people were lining up for Frozen and Test Track and so just keep that in mind. If you are booking a deluxe resort simply because you think you're going to be able to ride everything at night during your Extra Magic Hours, that will not happen. Yeah. Especially going into summer and the busy season and travel being at an all-time high. just get that out of your mind. It will not happen for you.
I mean, you can take advantage of that perk a little bit, so that is a certain amount of a peak. I guess you could say that we took advantage of it, and we got lucky. So walking under Remy was definitely a peak because we got lucky.
And we're going to be able to do that in September too. We're going to be able to try Magic Kingdom. So perhaps that will be a different experience since it's a more compact park.
Right. And we did have that for that Tuesday night, but we ended up not going because it was raining and
we were
it was
just
later.
tired.
It was what were the hours that night?
11 to 1.
11 to 1. Yeah, that's right. So we were.
It was supposed to be 10 to midnight, but then they changed it.
They pushed it back to 11 to 1. Yeah, that's right. So
another peak was we were able to get Gideon's peanut butter cold brews twice without having to wait in a virtual queue or any kind of a line.
Right.
Excuse me.
Short line.
I think the first time we waited maybe 20 minutes and the second was maybe 10 minutes.
So that first night was Wednesday night after dinner. We finished up at Paddlefish with Jen and Mark from Fun and Fancy Free Floridians.
Yes.
And so we just hopped over there and waited in line for it. And we were busy chatting, so it seemed like it
went by
nothing.
fast.
Yeah. So we just went in and got the peanut butter cold brew, which was, God, they need to make that in a bigger size, don't you think?
I know.
Yeah.
That's such a good drink.
That's so good.
I think we've had it at least 4 times now.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's so delicious and refreshing.
And it's not anything that you could drink slowly.
No, you just want to suck that down.
Yeah. But then
good.
The second time we went was in the middle part of the afternoon. When did we? Yeah. So.
We did it Monday afternoon. Monday afternoon.
Right.
And there was no line whatsoever.
Yeah. So I think the busier times would be weekends, mornings, definitely. Saturday morning we were there at Disney Springs and it was a 3.5 hour wait for the virtual queue.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, sorry.
Yeah.
But Monday at that point in the day, we ended up just getting in line and waiting 10 minutes, and we got the cold brew and a couple cookies. So it was good.
Another pit where we did have some magical moments. We were in Magic Kingdom, and we went to refill our popcorn bucket, and I went to pay for it, and the cast member said, "Don't worry about it, it's on Mickey." And I just thought that was great. I thought that was awesome. And again, it's those little things that Joe and I talk about all the time.
Yeah.
It's not Bobby Boy and it's not Joshy that make the Disney parks what they are. It is 100% the cast members that bring the magic, that take care of the guests that come to the parks.
Yeah. So to do a popcorn bucket refill, it's $2.50 now.
25.
Oh, $2.25. Sorry. Sorry. It used to be $2. It's $2.25. So $2.25 to refill your popcorn bucket. I think it's a really good deal. But yeah, he ended up. It's nice. That was kind of cool.
Another perk that goes on with that, a peak was that we were able to, after we rode Dinosaur the first time, not going to get into the story, but they let us ride it a second time. Total magical moment.
Yeah.
But we were able to walk on it a second time, and the wait was 65 minutes. So that was definitely a thrill for us and greatly appreciated.
Yeah, it was.
What was the third one?
Well, the dinosaur thing was just kind of interesting because it wasn't anything because of any problem or complaint or anything like that. It was, I don't know if the guy that brought us around was confused about what we were asking, because we were talking to a different cast member, and this guy came over, and he might have been a manager, and he just brought us around and, oh, here you go. Shh, don't tell anyone. I'm like, okay. I'm like, what are we doing? You and Timmy were walking ahead of me. I'm like, where are we going? What are we doing? And next thing you know, you're in the pre-show room where, Dr. Marsh. So that was actually kind of cool because we do love dinosaur. Yeah.
And what was the third thing that happened to
the
us?
popcorn bucket, the dinosaur, and...
We had 3 magic moments.
So we had to stop and think for a moment, just to try to recollect our thoughts. Again, this goes back to the individual cast members, and corporate policy being what it is, fine. Individual cast members, totally different.
Yeah.
So the waitress we had at Ale and Compass at Yacht Club is someone who's taken care of us before. And so as we were talking to her, we were talking about her son and yada, yada, yada. And we had just, we told her that our granddaughter was just born. So
while we were in Disney.
Yeah. So she ended up bringing us a special little treat to celebrate. So that was kind of really cool. Very, very nice.
That was very cool.
What was funny, though, is that the story with her was that she was pregnant while she was working at Disney, and she was at the time working at
Cinderella's
Royal Table in the castle in Magic Kingdom. And I said to her, I said, why didn't you go into labor while you were at work and then say to them, no, the baby's coming. I can't leave. I can't go to the hospital. I need to have the baby here. And then your baby's actually born in Cinderella's castle. Like, how cool would that be? That would be a story that would make the news. And I was joking with them, like, 5 hours later, you're still trying to give birth. And they're like, are you sure it's coming? We couldn't really go to the hospital. No, I'm going to have it right now, right here.
Move.
Yeah, just so you can make sure to have it at the castle.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, so.
We had some great meals. So definitely my peaks were Wine Bar George.
Always.
The
brunch burrata.
Brunch burrata. Oh, it's so good. And yeah. If you haven't had it yet, folks, we keep telling you, go to Wine Bar George and have that brunch burrata. It is hands down one of the best things I have ever eaten in my whole life.
Yeah, it's really good.
And then we had another really good meal at Morimoto Asia.
Yes.
With our friends Stacy and Paul, the Disney Romantics.
Yeah.
We hadn't been to Morimoto in quite some time, a couple of years.
You'd been there more recently than me.
It was excellent.
Yeah.
And we were put in like a little private room.
Yeah.
It was really cool. We felt like VIPs.
Yeah, I know. So.
And we didn't record it, so unfortunately we can't prove that.
Well, I did take some pictures.
Did you?
We did a few things. Yeah, I will have a video at some point. Because with the drinks, we were at the bar beforehand, and they have...
oh, that was definitely a peak.
Yes.
Was the bar at Morimoto Asia.
Yeah.
If you have not sat at the bar upstairs, highly encourage you to do so.
So I do have a video on that because I did shoot some footage of that bar itself, but also the drinks that we had, so that'll be coming. But yeah, I totally enjoyed that. That was really
I had the sake sangria that night. That was really delicious.
I can't remember the name of my drink, but it was really, really very, very good. And they do have a bourbon up there, top shelf.
It's $2,000 an ounce.
Nope, half an ounce.
Oh, a half an ounce.
$4,000 for 1 ounce. Yep.
That's crazy.
Well, you know what? If you could afford it, you don't think about that. If you could afford $4,000 an ounce, you're like, it's fine.
That's true.
It's like the old joke. It's a long, long time ago. Old joke. It's like Paul McCartney, like when he was married to Linda, when Linda was still alive, and he's like, he has $1 million in his wallet, and he'd lose his wallet. He's got so much money, he'd be like, Linda, have you seen me wallet? Like he's so, whatever, it's $1 million, doesn't matter.
That's okay.
Have you seen me wallet? It's like, otherwise everyone else would be like, $20, where'd it go? Oh my God. Yeah, so.
Another pit was the one night we had our carriage ride scheduled at Port Orleans Riverside. That was the one night it poured and it got canceled. Yeah. That was a little discouraging because I waited on hold with Disney for 3.5 hours to book that. Yeah.
So again, it comes down to that. What do you want to do with your time and your life? Do you want to spend it on the phone waiting to give this corporation more money?
No.
I'm sorry. I don't agree with that at all. It's ridiculous. It's stupid.
You should be able to do that online.
Anything, whatever. You know what?
It's 2022.
Yeah, I know. So
that was a bit of a bummer. We were looking forward to a romantic carriage ride.
But that evening, we ended up going to Hollywood Studios anyway. And we got ponchos and had our flip-flops and we had the umbrella and it was raining.
It poured.
So that was actually kind of a peak for me. It was fun to walk through the rain. It was, at least I was prepared this time. There was that one year a few years ago when Ashley and I went and we came off of Flight of Passage and we were in the gift shop that, you go into after the ride and the skies opened up. And Ashley ended up buying a poncho and I did not. And I don't know why I didn't. Yeah. So we walked to the car, and instead of spending $10 on a poncho, I spent $35 on a new T-shirt because I was drenched. Because that makes sense. That was a few years ago, but.
that did turn out to be fun, and we basically, here's another pit, but it kind of turned out to be a peak. But then a lot of the wait times at Disney, we timed a lot of rides at all 4 parks, and a lot of the wait times are inflated. I think they want you to purchase that Genie Plus.
It's possible. I don't know.
The only wait time that was accurate that actually went over was Pirates of the Caribbean was listed as 45 minutes, and I think we waited darn close to an hour.
Yeah.
But everything else, I think Haunted Mansion was posted at 50 minutes and we waited 20.
Yeah.
Navi River was listed as 40 and we maybe waited 10. So don't trust those wait times. Don't trust the app.
You don't know.
If you know how to work the system, you do not have to use your money to pay for Genie Plus. Go in the morning. Use your time at those extra magic hours. That 30 minutes will get you onto that one ride. I know it's only one ride, but that saves you time in the afternoon.
Right.
It gets you that one ride that you don't want to have to wait in line for. So for us, it was Flight of Passage the morning we decided to do it. But you can really knock off those fancy, expensive lightning lane rides, not paying for them by just getting up early and getting to the park. And I hate saying that because I'm not a believer in getting up early on your vacations, but it did pay off for us.
And so another pit along those lines is it was really warm. Coming from St. Pete, the weather in St. Pete was beautiful. Very, very low humidity.
Yeah.
The breeze coming in, really nice. Then we got to Orlando and it felt like it was July, August.
Yeah.
And
it was
so
bad.
it was really, really bizarre. But going through the parks in the middle of the afternoon was exhausting. We only did that a couple of times, and the longest we spent in any park was 5 hours.
Yeah.
Well, no, 6. That was the Animal Kingdom day because we were there from a little before 7 until 1. But we were gone by 1 o'clock. The Monday we went to Epcot was 5 hours, but that was later in the day into the evening, so it was okay.
We actually skipped some of our park pass reservations because it was just so hot and so crowded.
That Saturday we ended up, after Wine Bar George and brunch, we went to Hollywood Studios for a couple of hours, and we rode Mickey and Minnie. We did
No, we did
Brown
Mickey
Derby.
and Minnie the night before.
Oh, that was the Friday night. That's right. Yeah. So we went for Brown Derby. So we did walk around a little bit, but gosh, I couldn't do it. I've never been one with the heat in the afternoon. Doesn't matter. I'm fine. But it really got to me this time, and I just didn't have any desire to be in those parks in the middle of the afternoon with that heat. So.
And I think a lot of people felt the same way we did because the pools were a little bit more crowded than normal.
Yeah.
I think everybody had the same idea. Who wants to stand in these atrocious lines in this heat when we can be in the pool?
Right. Yeah. I know. That's what I wanted to do. So I was happy. That was definitely a peak for me too. Just being able to spend a little bit of time in the pools. Grand Floridian was what it was with the noise. Port Orleans French Quarter was better because it was quieter in that sense.
If you want a resort that's really, really quiet and peaceful, French Quarter is definitely your
it's definitely quieter.
Give it a try.
It's smaller, so that helps. The pool itself is I don't know, I guess average size, but they do have music playing. If you're closer to where the music is set up, it's louder. When you're further away, you still hear it, but it's not as loud. But overall, I actually enjoy French Quarter, so it's really not too bad. I think, honestly, for the Disney, obviously we know, okay, it's more expensive. But for resorts on Disney property, I'm going to go back to Destino Tower. I just think
it's a good one.
It is a really nice hotel at a good price. And it just, we've had good experiences there with the room quality and the staff and everything else. So,
and they have the best elevators.
Yeah, it's cool. I think the problem is that it's just further away from, most stuff. It takes you a little bit to get to Animal Kingdom. It takes you a bit to get to the other parks. There's no direct way to get to them other than busing, unless you're going to drive. So that could be part of it. But as a hotel...
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I know we had actually 4 magic moments.
What was the other one?
We went to Hollywood Studios later in the afternoon, and we asked to upgrade to preferred parking because I'm just too lazy to walk 3 miles to get to the park. So we asked
3 miles.
We asked to upgrade to preferred parking, and they said it's on the house. Don't worry about that $25.
Yeah.
See, I knew it would come to me.
Yeah, there was that. That was on the Friday afternoon though, when it was going to rain. So we got there later. So she's just like, come on in.
And that was greatly appreciated because that was $25.
Yeah. We don't always do that, but certain people decide, walking through the parks, fine. Walking from the parking lot to the park, not so fine.
No.
But
I will end this on 2 more peaks. Using the boats from Port Orleans French Quarter to Disney Springs is an absolute peak of staying at that resort.
Yes.
It is so nice to not have to drive your car into the garages and circle for
that's kind of
parking.
cool.
It's such a nice perk to take. It's like a 15-ish minute.
Yeah, give or take. I mean,
leisurely boat
less.
cruise. It's
What's funny
so nice.
is that from when we were there before, we recognized it. You know, you realize you go to Disney too much when you start to recognize cast members. But our captain Harold was the guy who took care of us. Was the pilot captain a couple of times this time. He was the captain before, so I recognized him from last time. And he'll tell the stories as you're going past Saratoga Springs on the golf course. He'll crack some jokes about different people who are out there golfing. Yeah. So it is interesting when you do recognize cast members. That said, the other peak to say, right, we went to Wilderness Lodge, we went to Geyser Point, we got to see Josh, the bartender at Geyser Point. So we got to take our picture with him, which I will include right about now. And that's Josh. So, it was kind of cute and kind of cool. And anyway, because we hadn't seen him in a while, because all the other times that we've been there,
we hadn't seen him since the 50th, right?
Yeah,
before.
So September, October-ish.
Yeah.
Because he went on a cruise, and then the other times we've been there, he was off.
Because he's off Sunday afternoon and Mondays.
Yeah, so anyway, it was nice to see him again. Geyser Point, just definitely a very, very cool place. We enjoyed going there quite a bit. One of our favorites.
We'll end it with one more peak, and that was finding Kevin at Animal Kingdom.
Holy cow.
I was so excited when Kevin came back, and I was determined to see her, and boy, did we find her.
Yeah, so I already put that video up, so you can look for that one. It was kind of cool.
Hunting for the mythical snipe.
Yes, it was very, very cool to actually... And the interactions that we had, we kind of stalked her a little bit.
Just a little.
Just a little. But it was fun because I got the camera and I'm following Jen, and here's Kevin walking, and here's Jen walking right next to her. And every time you see, with the way the shot is lined up, there's Kevin doing her thing, and then there's Jen right there looking up at her. So it was kind of funny.
Yeah. I love her. Yeah. I think she is the best character meet at Disney.
It's pretty impressive, just simply because... You're not waiting in line to meet her in one location. She's just wandering, doing her thing, and you got to kind of go and, and she'll stop and stay in the position to pose while you're taking a picture. And I got good
But she does have a very short attention span.
Yes, exactly. Well,
she's got to get back to her babies.
Exactly. So, but there's that one picture I took of you, which was really, really super cute, and it was in the other video, but I will include that one here as well. And that was you with Kevin, very, very cute. So, I don't know. I do like that character interaction, definitely.
So overall, it was a great trip. There were definitely a lot more peaks than pits. Definitely be nice to the cast members. They are the ones responsible for making your vacation the best it can be, because Bobby C and Josh A, they don't care, because if they did, they would do things so much differently.
All right, so
that's just my little rant for the video.
I'm gonna say this because I thought this was funny. It was a joke that I told myself in my head at the time. But at the Grand Floridian, I'm kind of lounging in the pool, in the water, just soaking in the sun. To my left is this little girl, maybe 4 years old.
Oh yeah.
And she's on, the edge of the pool. And she's doing these like flips into the water, like from the edge of the pool. She kind of somersaults into the water. It's like, Daddy, look at me. 2 times, 3 times she does it. And she's really cute. She's doing it. She's not being obnoxious at all. She's being really cute and having fun. And the dad says, well, you really should stop doing that now. But why? It's fun. I can do it. He says, yeah, but if you hit your head, that's going to be the end of your Disney magic. And he said that. He actually said, if you hit your head, it's going to be the end of the Disney magic. And I said, that must have been what happened to Bob Chapek. Anyway, So
don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, because you don't want to miss any of the next Jen and Joe on the go action, because if you do, you're going to miss some of our funnies, and you don't want to miss those.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of that. It's just a laugh riot around here. Reminds me of Ralph Cramden. Oh, you're a laugh riot, Alice. Oh yeah.
I don't even know who that is.
Honeymooners.
I didn't watch that.
Jackie Gleason. Oh man, Jennifer. Anyone watch The
I
Honeymooners?
think I need more wine in my Corksicle.
Yeah, I'm done with my whiskey. I need more. Honeymooners, Jackie Gleason, Audrey Meadows, Art Carney. I mean, yeah, it was part of my childhood.
So hopefully you'll keep tuning in because we are still posting from our March trip, and now the May vlogs are going up, so...
Yeah, just keep tuning in. We got more coming. We'll do what I can when I can.
And now
Best that I
Riley's
can.
here! Oh my gosh!
Yes, yes. So Riley's here too. Eventually we'll get to that.
Yeah, so we are planning a trip to Cincinnati. That is on the list. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll do some recording for that too.
Yeah.
I think so. That's coming up in a couple weeks. So, all right. Thanks as always for watching. We'll catch you guys next time. Bye. For now.